Hey everybody, I'm Robert Donovan. Welcome to this episode of Not Trekonomics. Well, you've tried everything. Your expenses are as low as you can get them. You can't remember the last time you watched TV, ate out, or did anything else but eat, sleep, go to work at 2 or more jobs, come home and do it all over again. Money as a non-stop worry has long since become your normal. You've come to dread any unexpected expense or drop in hours at work. You sold off everything you could and applied it all to debt principal. You tried to work with your lenders, but the banks always proposed a monthly payment plan $100 more than your financial records, your tax returns, and anything else they asked for showed you could afford. You even tried to make those payments and just wound up worse off for it. You recently checked your bank account to find it was garnished by one of your lenders to cover missed payments. Your paycheck will probably be next. You've been thinking about bankruptcy for months, but a little voice in your head tells you that only deadbeats file for bankruptcy, that you can figure a way out of this, and that bankruptcy will ruin your life, leave you with nothing, and bar you from getting credit for 10 years. I'm not a bankruptcy attorney or a credit counselor, but if your situation is anything similar to that which I have just described, you need to talk to a bankruptcy attorney and tell that little voice in your head to shut the hell up. Okay, let's get right to it. You won't lose everything you own. That's what exempt assets rules are there to prevent. It is exceedingly rare that you would lose your house in Chapter 7 if it's your principal residence, and Chapter 13 will prevent it in nearly every other case. The oft-cited 2005 law said to make it harder to declare bankruptcy doesn't make it harder for honest debtors to file. There are more filings now than before that law existed. You will not be barred from getting loans, to judge from the reams of offers I got after I filed. If you are stupid enough, though, to get right back into debt immediately after filing for bankruptcy, you're dumber than the combined stupidity of the astronomers and aliens in Independence Day, the Mimbari First Contact Protocol, and several of the official Ferengi rules of acquisition, all combined. Oh, what other neat little myths floating around the internet? Well, your spouse doesn't have to file with you, nor does bankruptcy make divorce any more likely than it would have been had you not filed, and may make it less likely if money problems are the thing straining your marriage. I'm not a marriage counselor either, but just a thought. You can even get certain back taxes cleared in a bankruptcy if you meet certain qualifications. And I almost forgot, you're not a bad person or a deadbeat. Nobody sets out to declare bankruptcy. If you've done everything I've talked about up to now in this series, if you still can't pay your debts and your accounts are getting swept, you are the reason bankruptcy replaced debtor's prison. You don't owe lenders your future. You just owe them some money. Banks want you to think all these things so that you won't file and they can keep gouging you. Bankruptcy for me was really quite painless. My RV, my trading accounts, and my other assets that fit in the RV were well below the miscellaneous exempt assets limit for the state I filed in. And yes, it will be an inconvenience for a while in terms of credit, but that's easy to reestablish, and the peace of mind of not having to worry about harassment from lenders is absolutely worth it. For those who try to tell you that bankruptcy is a broken promise if, like me, you chose to give up your property, read any loan contract and you'll find in it at least a paragraph or two to the effect that in the event you're unable to pay, you promise to give back the property to the lender so that they can sell it to recoup some of their assets. Declaring bankruptcy just puts the court in charge of doing that rather than the bank. Even if you don't give up your house in bankruptcy, you don't owe lenders destitution and homelessness either. And if you think that makes me a bad person, well, I will just have to take that hit. And let's not forget the debt service companies. These, you may not know about these, but these are companies that manage and collect payment on mortgages and other debts for banks. They recover all their costs even before the banks do when a securitized loan defaults. I know this because my loan was a securitized loan. This is how I found out. Because the mortgage servicers are first in line for reimbursement, These vultures can often make more money on defaults and foreclosures than on modifications or payoffs. All they have to do is front the investors any mispayments, declare a default, and then foreclose. They get reimbursed, you get foreclosed on. Keep that in mind next time you're thinking about bankruptcy. Takeaway. I am not a bankruptcy attorney, as I said, and I am not saying my experience of bankruptcy will match yours. Be sure to consult a bankruptcy attorney in your state to get the facts for your specific case, and do not treat bankruptcy lightly or cavalierly. It is a big step, and however relatively painless it may be compared to creditor harassment, it has large consequences. But do not discount it out of hand either. It may be the very thing you need to start the process of getting back on your feet, and I, for one, will not hold it against you. Thanks for watching, and may the balance of your day be awesome.